Hi, good morning, and welcome into the first episode of the second half, Baseball and Coffee, with Adam Ottavino, recording today live from Bridgehampton, New York. Got my coffee from the Pear Cafe, little iced coffee today. Needed that, but excited to get back into it today. First game of the second half was last night. First games of the second half last night. Always a weird time to come back to play baseball after 3 or 4 days off. It's just not the same rhythm of things that you're accustomed to. During that first half, you're just playing, every day. Maybe you get a day off every 2-3 weeks. All of a sudden, you get 3-4 days off. I always feel like that first game back, a lot of things can go crazy in that circumstance. Guys get comfortable, or they forget how hard this game is, or the fight for just a second, and you lose your edge just a little bit. We saw some of that last night, in my opinion. And so we're going to go over to the main screen here and get us started. My camera is way offline today, but that's okay. We are going to roll with it. So we're going to head over to the main screen. And let me see if I can find our chat really quick to make sure that it's here. And we are up and running. That's weird. I know we're rolling. Oh wait, let's select the stream and get the chat going. If you don't see your stream, try refreshing. There we go. Second half begins. Live stream. Here we go. Sorry about that. And then I'm looking for my chat. Where is my chat? Where is my chat? Yeah. Oh man, where's my chat? Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get this going today. Try to shrink this down. Oh, there's my chat. Okay, hello. We are rolling. All right, so we're going to head over to the main screen, like I said, and we're going to jump right into the standings after last night's games. Blue Jays still 2-game lead over the Yanks. 3-game lead now over the Yanks, as that just updated. Red Sox 4 back as they finally lost. They were going for their 11th in a row. That did not go well. Detroit 11 games over Cleveland. Start of the day today, which is Saturday. Saturday, July 19th. I should have been more on top of that. Sorry, guys. Okay. Houston, 4 games up on Seattle. 7.5 over Texas. Philly, half game over the Mets. Both teams lost last night. Marlins 9.5 back. Braves 11.5 back. So Atlanta really dropping off. It'd be interesting to see what they do here in 2 weeks, whether they sell or not. But we will see. Dodgers 4.5. Cubbies. My bad. Still 1 over the Brewers. That seems to be a little bit of a dogfight. Reds have been playing better lately. We'll see if they can sneak back in there, or the Cards. They've been fading a bit. But I like that division. You got 4 teams, run differential in the positive. So that's actually a sign of a pretty good division in my mind. And then the Dodgers 4.5 over the Padres, 6 over the Giants as we head into the second half. We are going to get started with our first topic today, which is talking a little bit about what it's like coming off the break. Let's find our box scores real quick from last night, because an interesting thing happened last night. There was several crooked numbers in the early going of these games. Cubs got 3 in the first against the Red Sox, and a lot of this really defined the way the days went. And like I said, I think this is a little bit of a weird place to be in. You, as a player, you come off the break, and as I cue this up really quick, we're gonna need Giolito here. All right, so as I cue this up, you come off the break, and like I said, you've been comfortable with whatever happened, good or bad, in the first half, but it kind of gives you a chance to catch your breath, which I think is important. And you do need to catch your breath in this game from time to time. But then you get back into that first game of competition, and sometimes the edge isn't there, and you can get exposed a little bit. And I wanted to look at a few of these first innings. I haven't watched all of them yet, but a few of these first innings where things did go a little sideways. And this one is the first one. It's Giolito. He's actually been rolling. He had a sub-1 ERA over his last 5 starts, as he's righted the ship from early in the year. Great dude. I've been rooting for him hard this year after getting to know him in spring training. But he did run into a little bit of trouble in the first, and let's get into it because it cost the team the game, and it's really off of just that 1 inning, not being sharp in that first inning. It all starts with a full count walk to Michael Busch. And then a Kyle Tucker, another full count walk. So right out the chute, maybe you're not dictating contact quite the way you normally would. You miss by a couple inches. We're talking small things in this situation, folks. Small things that can lead to vulnerability out there. And now he faces Seiya Suzuki. And now he's like, I have 2 walks. I got to get in the zone here. And Seiya is absolutely aggressive on this first pitch. He takes him out up top, sitting dead red fastball. 3-run homer. And that was the difference in the game. It happened 3 batters in, 2 walks and a homer. And I feel like sometimes after an off day or after a series of off day, like the All-Star break, this is the type of thing that can happen. And it's important to keep your guard up, when you're pitching or hitting in a situation like this. Let's watch that home run again. Just sitting dead red on the fastball, 105.7 at 26 degrees out to center. Actually barely makes it out, hits it kind of into the basket, gets caught by a fan, but so that game was decided right off the bat. Now we're going to go to the Yankees and the Braves game last night. Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees. Yankees went with a piggyback starter in Mr. Hamilton last night. This game was essentially decided right away in the first inning. This is how this game begins. Jurickson Profar. We're waiting on the video here. Okay, Jurickson Profar, first pitch ambush, grounder through the 4-hole. Then we got Matt Olson. He's going to come up. And this is actually, I actually was watching this game. This was a really poor pitch choice. The slider kind of, this is where I would not want to throw him. A medium speed pitch coming into him, middle of the zone. So he ropes a double right there. Braves are in business. And before you can even start breathing, to start your second half, you're going to find yourself in a 2-run hole after this hit right here. Hi, baseball purists. Thanks for checking in. Acuna does a nice job going the other way and gets a double because of his speed. And right away, they end up putting a three spot here in the first inning. They get the 3rd one on this sac fly by Ozzy Albies. And this is just a phenomenon that I call, maybe having not be quite ready for the competition in that first inning. Now, it all could be coincidental. Could just be a blip in the statistical universe. Some teams are just going to have good first innings. But I do think it's a little bit more common to see somebody come out and be not quite as sharp following a number of off days. Let's see if we can find another example of this from last night. I know there was a few crooked innings that happened right away in these games. Yep, Rockies. Watch the Twins in the Rockies game. This game is decided by 2 runs. Look how this game starts out. This is another one. Colorado Rockies, Minnesota Twins. It's Paddock on the mound. And this game starts crazy. Tyler Freeman.
It did not reach on Sunday. Snapped a 25-game stretch where he reached.
Got a line drive in the absolute Grand Canyon. That is the gaps at Coors Field for an easy double. So leadoff double. Now Mickey Moniak. He's going to get a changeup from Paddock here. Doesn't quite get to the bottom. Once again, the gap's too big to cover it. And now we got back-to-back extra base hits to start off the game. And that's going to bring us to Jordan Beck, who damn near hit for the cycle last night. He goes in the same gap, which again, Buxton, 100th percentile in sprint speed, 93rd percentile in range. Still can't cover that gap. It's just too big. And now you got 3 extra base hits to start off this game. And it's just going to go to a really dark place right away after this pitch to Ryan McMahon. Little hanging curveball at Coors, little fly ball to right, 105, 37, second deck, and it's 4-0 before you even knew what happened. Guarantee you Paddock was feeling like good vibes. I'm going to turn my season around here in the second half. I'm going to get on a roll here, and 4 batters in, he's down 4-0. So I just wanted to show these rallies right away just to talk a little bit about the mental side of coming back off of a long layoff as a player from a player's perspective. I just think, this game will humble you, and this is one of those reasons why you never celebrate too early as a player. There's no real reason to not feel good about yourself. I'm not saying not to have confidence, but at the same time, understand that every day, what's the old expression that J.J. Watt used to say? Rent is due every day. you only lease your success, and I think that's one of the tough things about baseball as a player is, like you can feel really good, but as soon as you let your foot off the gas a little bit, you can get exposed in the MLB really, really fast, and I think that's what keeps people from maybe enjoying their careers, even when they're going well, is just the knowledge that a lot of things are out of control, and one little slip up here can really hurt you. So it's a little bit of a psychological brain game there that you end up playing with yourself. It's a little strange that it seems the hitters were taking advantage of the break when usually a disruption in the away leads to timing issues offensively. Success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day. That's the line, baseball purists. You are 100% right. And I agree, Mitch, in the chat. It's a little strange that the hitters were ready, but at the same time, we saw it in a couple of those rallies, a couple walks, a couple of meatballs right down the middle. Guys just not having their guard up, I think, in the first inning is dangerous for sure. So I just want to show that. We're going to start off talking about those crooked innings a little bit, and let's see what we're going to get into next. I think we need to look at Quinn Priester. Let's go shift over to my guy Quinn Priester, who was actually with us at the Red Sox in spring training this year. He pitched against the LA Dodgers last night. Probably had the best start of his career. But before we get into the start, I want to talk about this guy a little bit as I go through his Savant page. We get a better feel for him. Quinn Priester, first-round pick of the Pirates. And I clicked with this guy in spring training, and I think mostly because I saw a lot of myself in him. Like, I knew what it was like to kind of be a top prospect with a team, and then you get traded to another team, and there's like all this promise with you. You're kind of viewed as like the 5th or 6th starter on a team. You're not guaranteed a spot yet, but you've kind of shown everything that you need to show in the minor leagues, but you're not necessarily knocking the door down in the big leagues yet. So it's a little bit of a moment in time that a lot of top pitchers and a lot of top prospects go through. And I got to play catch with this guy a lot. His ball's heavy. He throws a lot of sinker and cutter combination, and the cutter's really like as fast as a fastball, like 94, 95 mile an hour cutters. And he was blowing up my palm all spring training, and I thought it was interesting. The Red Sox were pushing him to up his cutter usage more and more. And I think he's gone even higher with the Brewers since he got traded over there early this season. But he's found a home with Milwaukee. They continue to piece it together. They're giving him a chance to start. You look at his pitch mix for this season. Sinker, slider, cutter, curveball, changeup. There's no four-seam. The cutter is essentially his four-seam. And last night, like I said, he had his best game of the season versus the Dodgers. There's his movement plot. These brown dots at the top, that's the cutter. That's basically a fastball. And then he's got a couple pitches that move to the arm side. He's got a couple pitches that move to the glove side. Not drastically, but everything's pretty hard. His curveball is the slowest pitch. It's 80.6, and he doesn't throw it that often. So for the most part, when you're facing this guy, you have to be ready for the hard stuff. So we'll get into his outing, but I want to check the chat really, really quick here. I wonder how far Adam's iPads go back. I bet it actually goes back to 2021, I believe. So I can go all the way back to my Red Sox days if we want to investigate some stuff. Milwaukee has something on the Dodgers. Pitchers have dominated that offense so far. It is true. Milwaukee seems to... They have a number on a lot of guys, a lot of teams. Yeah, they are a headache. I agree. They're a tough team. All right, so let's get into Quinn. My guy, only 24 years old. A lot of promise on this dude. And I really enjoyed watching him pitch last night. And you'll see right away, I'm going to actually watch all the pitches from the first inning because he has an incredible announcing my second half presence with authority moment here. All right, so let's watch him face Shohei. There's the sinker. As you see, it moves to the gloves, to the arm side. Another sinker. So sinker. Here comes the curveball, his least used pitch. Curveball is a pitch I really like to Shohei. Anything moving down below the zone, as you can see right here. This pitch has a lot of droppage. Very nice. Hammer, if you will. And here comes the sinker. Let's see where they try to go with it. Waiting on the old loading times here with the internet not being what it is at my house. Oh, he goes for the front door paint. Just misses it. This is a theme. He throws this pitch very well in this ball game. Glove side sinker attempt. Got Shohei to get the reaction he wanted. He hops out of the way but doesn't quite get back to the corner. so you know that that pitch is maybe there later.
The slider also is,
And now he's going to go with the harder breaking ball, the slider.
pitches they're going to bring along as they go.
Very good take by Shohei.
Sinker, no surprise.
I think he was looking for something a little more up and out and over. But as you can see, this pitch breaks hard. It breaks down. True gyro slider. 3-2. Sinker time coming. See if they try to go in with it again. See if they can go for the freeze. No, they're going middle. Actually, a very hittable pitch there from Shohei. Kind of gets under it, and that sets up his first cutter of this outing. And this was a big pitch for him in this game, and has a big pitch for him. And let's watch it here. Now, this is important for a number of reasons. This cutter here kind of gets above the barrel, so it's a spin pitch like the slider. So a lot of times hitters will read spin and they'll kind of get into their scoopiness of their bat path. They'll get into his more scoopy bat path, but then it kind of stays up because it's a cutter, gets over the barrel. So there's the first punchy. Now he's got Mookie. Let's see how he goes at Mookie.
The All-Star break worked on.
Hold on, I dropped the iPad. All right, first pitch cutter.
Down in Nashville during the All-Star break.
A little bit down and away, doesn't get the call.
Relax. How much do you work on the innings you need?
Second pitch slider, drops it in, get back in the count. Now he's going to go slider again. So his righty attack so far, we're seeing cutter, slider, slider. And that one kind of backed up, and I think that plays into why he gets the chase here on this cutter away. Mookie just waves at it. Want to go back and look at the tunneling real quick on this. So the 1-1 pitch is a slider. And if you look at the way this ball kind of backs up in the zone, kind of pops middle up but ends up middle in. Didn't have very much break at all. So now anything that pops on the outside corner, the hitter would have to honor because the ball didn't continue to sweep away from him. And he takes advantage of that right here by throwing the cutter on the outside corner, but it's a harder pitch. You got less time to react, and it doesn't break the way you're expecting, so you end up getting a waving swing like that. I don't know what's going on with my pencil today. Having all sorts of technical difficulties. And then he finishes out the first inning extremely strong as well with this at-bat versus Freddie. As you can see, he throws hard. 96 on the sinker there. He looks the part. This is what first-round righties look like. It's easy gas in the mid-90s, and then you kind of learn to pitch from there. And I think Quinn's kind of finding his game is more of the sinker, cutter, slider game, and a lot less of the four-seam game than maybe he had early in his career. So he goes sinker, sinker, and here comes the cutter for the put-away above the zone. Gets the swing under, and that's just ridiculous. You just struck out 3 Hall of Famers to start off the second half in your first inning. Can't go much better than that. So I think from here on out, let's just fly through his game really quick. We'll just go to the result pitches. Will Smith, little cutter away, actually pulls it in, and so leadoff hit here in the second inning, and now he's got to deal with a little bit of traffic. Let's see how he comes back to get Teoscar here.
Scarring around it is going to cut back on your flexibility. Down swinging.
Really nice sink on this pitch. Late movement on this pitch. It's tracking, and diving late. Gets the swing over. I think this is a good pitch with a man on first with 2 strikes because it serves 2 purposes, right? You either get the punchy you're looking for, or maybe you get the ground ball for that double play. Nice pitch there. Now we got Conforto. Lot of sinkers to lefties, so that's a little bit of a different approach. It's not the sinkiest sinker in the world. It's hard, and it's got some good run to it. So he gets the fly out there from Mikey. And now Pajes. Pajes has had an excellent season. Gets him out front on the slider. Ooh, really nice play by Contreras. That kind of ties into a play I was showing last week with Machado, where you don't want to necessarily run feet first into to a wall, or in this case the net. He goes for the slide and protects himself. Also gives him a great chance to make the catch. Wow, that's an incredible play. To me, that's one of the hardest plays I've seen this year. Damn, that was nasty. Let me watch that again, because this ball's got to be shaving the net. Oh. And he kicked some dirt on some Dodger fans for good measure. So they got a little more experience of the real game. All right, so a little pop out there, and that's the end of the second. Hyesung Kim. Quinn's going to get him to pop out on a little backdoor curveball. 2 pitch out there. I was going to punch out Tommy Edman. See what he gets him on. Ooh, sinker.
Gets hurt. Jed Jerko gets hurt.
Going for the comeback sinker, keeps it up. I've always loved these pitches in this top quadrant. Even though it's a sinker and not a 4-seam, when the sinker starts off the plate inside... Hold on, I'm going to try to get my pen to work. Hold on. For some reason, my pen tip is missing. We're up there. It is. Technical difficulties today on the show, folks. Doing our best here. We got technical difficulties, but we're back. Okay, so this pitch pops inside, so there's a little bit of indecision on the swing. You're still not sure, and then when you realize that it's coming back to the plate, you try to fire, but it's up in the zone and too late. So from an effective velocity perspective, anything up and in, you have to be quicker as a hitter to get to. But you also have the added protection of that he's indecisive of whether to swing about this pitch because it starts off inside. So that's why this pitch is effective, even though it's not a really hoppy 4-seam. It's more so that it messes with the hitter's swing decision, like it's a little bit mistimed. So he gets the punch out of Tommy Edman. And then we're back to the top of the order. Got Shohei the first time. Well, hard to do better than that versus Shohei, a little 1-pitch out. It's one of the best things in the world. Now we're going to get to Mookie. Punch Mookie on a cutter the first time. Let's see what we got this time. Just waiting on the old internet. Come on, internet. All right, here we go. Gets the chase below the zone. Very good pitch for the punchy, but even if you hit it in, no harm there. Little weak grounder. 81-mile-an-hour grounder to pull side. Now we're going to go to Freddie Freeman. This is the second hit of the game. 3-0 swinging here. Freddie, one of the bigger 3-0 swingers in baseball. But he keeps him in the ballpark. Keeps him in the ballpark, so let's see how he strands him here. Looks like he might get a little fortunate. First pitch sinker. Now remember, Will Smith singled on a first pitch breaking ball the other day. Oh, and now he's dead pull on that, and he gets the line out to the double play. So he gets a little fortunate here. Double ambush, Will Smith ambush, probably sitting on this after he got the cutter the other time. I will say this, catchers, more than any other position, they guess at the plate. They can't help it. They're used to calling pitches all day, so they always say, what would I call here? What would I throw here? So guy gets a hit on a first pitch cutter or slider off of you the first at-bat, pretty good chance you're getting something else. Probably sinker in when it's a guy like Priester who's playing the East-West game. Will Smith definitely anticipates here, and to his credit, he hits the crap out of this ball, 106.5 on a line. But baseball's not a fair sport, and he hits it right to him. All right, quick pause for the chat. Do you think his cutter in can also help it play up? Yeah, okay, so that's a great question. Let me get into that for a second. Let's pull a lefty up here in the box just so I can show. I don't even need to show the pitches. I just want to show the lefty in the box so I can illustrate a little bit here. Okay, so this is the inside corner right here. Everybody knows that. Now, when you have a pitch that starts on the plate like a cutter and breaks in, now the hitter has to, if you get a hitter to swing at that, I would not throw the sinker inside to then come back to the plate, because now you know he's firing on pitches that start inside. But if you throw a cutter and you get a take in there, like a chase cutter that starts really nice on the corner, where my little dot's poking around here, and it cuts into this area, and the guy doesn't swing, well, now when you throw the two-seam that does the reverse of that starts inside and cuts back into the strike zone, well, there's going to be more indecisiveness there because he's already made up in his mind that anything in is going to run into me and come off the plate. So that's where you can kind of play the sinker-cutter game in the same location, and you're kind of using the hitter's reaction to determine what to throw next. Now, if you throw a cutter in and the guy chases it, not a bad idea to double up on something, because now you're getting him to swing at a ball. But as soon as he shows that he's not going to swing at that anymore, the two-seam in comeback pitch reopens up. So it's the combination of he's not sure whether it's a strike or a ball, but it's also further protected that he's also already established in his mind his strategy of anything that starts in on me, I'm not going to swing. So that's how those two pitches can interact and be super duper successful, you know, as a combo, especially to a lefty. All right, so that's the double play. We're going to head to the 5th inning. Teoscar here, little backdoor two-seam. This was my pitch. Frozen pizza. And let's see how he got there. So he gets ahead 0-2. Looks like he goes for the backdoor sinker straight away. Doesn't get it. So now Teoscar's like, okay, he's not executing that. Now he goes slider away off of that. Another good take. So now again, Teoscar's saying anything that's starting away from me right now doesn't feel like he can put that right on the corner. But Quinn sticks with it, and then he throws a beautiful backdoor sinker here, and Teoscar's already predetermined he's not swinging anything out there. What we got in the chat here? So would you try and set up the two-seam as the strikeout pitch if he takes the cutter early in the at-bat? Possibly, but every pitch in the at-bat is going to give me more and more information about how to find that third strike. I'm not necessarily thinking about the third strike until I already have the first two. I'm thinking about getting to 2 strikes, and then based on the way I got to 2 strikes, I'll think about the sequence and what he's vulnerable to, if that makes sense. I don't think it's smart to plan too far ahead, really ever as a pitcher. I think guys do it, but I think for the most part, you're more well served to take it 1 pitch at a time and control the count the way you want to, and then go hunt for the third strike more organically. All right, so now he's going to get another punch out of Mikey C here, Michael Conforto. Is this going to be enough? This is going to be a sinker away. Oh, sinker down. That's just a chase. That's a nice pitch. There might have been something to set that up, but as you can see, the sinker diving. Here's Pajes. Is this going to be another backdoor sinker? We got a called strike. Yep, paint. This is such a valuable pitch to have. And this was huge for me as my career went on because I wasn't going to throw my fastball by you a lot, especially my sinker. I was really relying on getting called strike 3s, and this is just such a great pitch because hitters will kind of let you know, like I demonstrated before with the telestrator, when they're ready to freeze on this pitch. And that's, I mean, you can't throw a ball better than that. That's shaving the corner. It's beautiful pitching. All right, what do you got in the chat? Okay, so a next pitch mentality, not a full at-bat. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense ever to just plan out your entire at-bat the whole way through. Like I said, you go 1 pitch at a time to get, you know, count control over the hitter, and then from there, organically, you figure out where to go for strike 3. All right, 6th inning. He's going to give up his 3rd hit of the day. So this is the 2nd leadoff hit he's had to deal with. This is a front door sinker attempt, and that is a crazy swing adjustment. I mean, man. So this time, he gets on top of an up and in pitch. I mean, really weird swing, and is able to shoot it through the middle. In a way, this is kind of a win for the pitcher. I mean, he does hit it hard, but he had to contort his whole body to take that swing. Let's see it from the side. Just a no stride, throw the hands at it, and get rewarded. Yeah, like he literally doesn't move, just kind of rocks back, throws the hands at it. Good job. Nice swing. What we got in the chat? Correct. If you're looking to get a KO pitch, you become predictable as a pitcher. Agreed. And you're going to have to stick and move out there like a boxer. Do a bunch of different stuff. All right, so he's got a leadoff hitter on. Tommy Edman, he gets him twice in this game. Not an easy guy to get. Let's see where he goes here. Another sinker up and in, so see if he can get him again.
Back to Holden.
Yeah, once again, and that ball carried. Yeah, I mean, that ball did not carry like a sinker. 13.6 vert. That was basically a 4-seam, so even if Tommy was anticipating the shape of his normal sinker, as you can see, this ball stays up, and it causes him to be under it, which happens sometimes. It's a happy accident as a pitcher. All right, 3rd time versus Shohei. Oh, Shohei's going to be aggressive again. Let's see where they go here. So, hold on. Before he throws this pitch, let's think about it. First at-bat, long battle, ends up getting him with a cutter above the zone. Second at-bat, first pitch sinker, Shohei goes with it right away. And then this 3rd at-bat, he's going to start him with a cutter. Let's see where they want it located. Up, in. Perfect pitch. Can't get Shohei. Oh, well, they could have had him, but a bad throwback. But this is a good pitch. If you're going to throw a first pitch cutter, this is an ideal location. It's going to tie him up a little bit. It's that medium to in height, that dead zone that we're talking about, but also on the plate, so it gets the swing. And Shohei's on top of this ball and chops it right to the first baseman. And they had a double play possibility. him as a wild swing path. He seems to be able to get to anything. I think that's just more of like a Korean style, Japanese style. They really grow up as contact hitter types. They don't like to strike out, and sometimes, you know, they play a lot of pepper and they figure out how to just kind of spray it, and your swing can kind of take many different forms in that style. Like, you're not looking to get your A swing off all the time, so you don't necessarily care how it looks. And then his last at bat, Mookie, can he get him for the second time? Yep, he's going to get him. Let's see what this cutter looks like. If the internet will work. Here we go.
That's trying to make it hurt. The payoff.
Ugh, impossible pitch for a hitter. I mean, it's a cutter, but he's had this happen a few times in this game, Priester. The cutter pops up, so he's telling himself, so he sees this ball pop, right? Mookie sees it pop. He's saying, oh, this is a spin, so it's going to come down and away to me. Like, he's thinking this ball is going to end up, hold on, let me get my pen. He's thinking this ball is going to end up in this location, but instead he kind of overcooks it and backspins it, and it ends up handcuffing him. And so as Mookie dives where he thinks the ball is going to be, which is the dot, the yellow dot below the ball, it ends up coming up and into him, and he kind of cuts himself off. Nothing you can do as a hitter there. That's an accidental movement. And as you can see, Mookie's face is kind of like, well, what do you want me to do with that? That pitch had crazy hop to it, stayed up, and didn't really move at all. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but Quinn was awfully good in this game. It's 10 strikeouts versus the Dodgers. Announced his second half presence with authority with the back-to-back-to-back strikeouts of the big dogs at the top of the order. And I'm just so happy to watch this guy have a little success and get on a little run here. Just a nice kid, just as nice as you could ever be. Talented. I just want him to break through a little bit, get his feet under him, and we'll see where he goes. If I can go back to his thing. So I don't know if this is updated as of today. It might be, but yeah, I mean, huge ground ball percentage, 57% ground ball percentage. So as you can see with that East-West game, that's going to be his game. That's how he's going to do it. But 10 strikeouts last night, and I think he achieved that by making some really good pitches when ahead in the count, really good decisions. That backdoor sinker, man, if you can access that glove side sinker comeback pitch, it's amazing what that opens up for you. It was a cheat code for me in my career. You know, as soon as I'd see somebody not swing at something away, I knew that pitch was available. Or in for a lefty, I knew that pitch was available. And if you get really good at throwing that pitch, it can cover up for a lot of other weaknesses. So that's Quinn Priester. And the Brewers, who are one game behind the Cubbies and hanging in there, piecing it together, and this kid's getting a real good shot. And it's great to see, because sometimes that's all you really need in this game is one shot. And really a second or a third chance, because he had a shot with the Pirates, but you know, he's getting another run here, and he's probably learned from his mistakes. All right, so now I'm going to look at a couple ninth innings. Let's look at the Padres and the Nats. Finnegan had a nightmare inning, but it was also really good execution by the Padres offense to win this game. So let's go to Washington and San Diego. And then I was going to talk about Chris Bassett today because he was able to have a 10 hit outing. Like, he allowed 10 hits but no runs. So that's dancing around it. But okay, in the chat real quick. Oh, my man, June Lee, what do you think is going on with Mookie this season? You know, to be honest, I haven't watched enough of his at-bats to have a perfectly educated opinion on this. But there's no doubt that he's chasing a little bit more, if you can see in the metrics. I think his shortstop play's been outstanding. But I don't know. I wonder if he's trying to do a bit too much maybe this year, playing with Shohei, playing with Freddie. But I'm not side his head. But I'm going to keep a tab on him because it is a little weird to see where his OPS is at this point in the season. But it's Mookie Betts. He's one of the best players I've ever seen, so I expect him to get going in the second half. All right, we're going to look at this ninth inning because it got a little crazy on Finnegan, and it's really good execution by the Padres. All right, so ninth inning tie game, top of the ninth, and here's how it starts off. Cronenworth. Now, when you're facing a guy like Kyle Finnegan, you know he's going to be in the zone, so you can be aggressive. Cronenworth aggressive. Uses the whole field. They have the shortstop pulled up the middle, 101 mile-an-hour grounder, and they got the leadoff man on. So here comes Iglesias. Iglesias is literally one of the worst hitters you can face in this situation. He is going to play this game the old school way. He's going to get this runner over one way or another. This is his game. It's the fundamental game. So he goes for the bunt on the first pitch. Pulls it back. gives a little acting job, so that ball's in. The Nationals dugout wants it, and it's a damn close pitch. I do think it's a ball by a little bit. But look at Iggy sell it, the way he turns his back like it's going to hit him or something. So he gets the 1-0 count. And here's where they go ahead and put on that hit and run. And wow, I mean, 48.1 miles an hour. Little shoot ball to the right. Now you're rolling. First and third, no outs. This is such a Jose Iglesias type hit. And it's also beautiful to have this type of hitter in your lineup. But not every team has this type of hitter anymore. But as a pitcher, this is a nightmare. So it's a hit and run. All he does is just flare it the other way. Now we can illustrate this on the high home. Second baseman's here. You're going to watch. He goes to cover. And then the ball's vacated in that spot. So that's the beauty of the hit and run. You know which fielder is going to cover on the steal. And then you take that open field and you use it to your advantage. You don't have to hit it hard. You just have to hit it in the right direction. And then when you can handle your bat like Jose Iglesias can, you do that. And now you're first and third and rolling. So now they're all set up. And here comes Elias Diaz. And this was also interesting. They send him up there to bunt. First and third, no outs in a tie game. And he's a catcher. And let's see how this goes. Squares around, kind of late. Tried to be a little too sneaky on the first attempt. And ends up fouling it away. Second attempt, just off the corner. So they're sticking with the bunt here. So this is essentially a safety squeeze situation. Like, it's not a do or die for the runner on third, but if the bunt gets down in the right location, he can score, and that's what happens here. Nice soft bunt by Elias Diaz, allows Cronenworth to score the go-ahead run. Now you have the insurance run on second base. And you're all set up to score even more, but you've done what you wanted to do. You have the lead. You're going to bring your closer, Suarez, into this game regardless after this play. Let's look at the high home, how the Nats want to defend this, because I'm very curious. Okay, so looks like they're all kind of infield in. They don't really crash hard on the bunt. I'd like to see the first baseman crash harder here, but if we watch here, kind of just lingers a little bit, doesn't really make any commitment, even though they showed bunt a few times and then it hesitates. So they had no shot at this play at home. I would have thought they would have been a little bit more aggressive in this spot, but it seems like they were almost okay to give up the run here. So that's how they take the lead. And now if you're Finnegan, you're in a position in this spot where you need to keep it there. Fernando Tatis comes up, man on second here. This is a nice swing. This is a split down. Look what he does with it. Hammers it through the hole, 103-1, and now they're back to first and third again. So they're continuing to grind in this inning. There's been some excellent at-bats. There's been some situational hitting. There's been some ambushing, a little bit of everything. Why do you feel like guys like Jose aren't on rosters as often as they used to be? Well, I mean, simply put, the prediction machine, the analytics that are of the predictive nature are never going to predict very much success for a guy who doesn't hit the ball particularly hard or hit it in the air, who chases a lot, because Jose is really good at fouling off close pitches. That's kind of the old school part of the game. Make the pitcher work, make him throw a lot of pitches, foul everything off, grind. But when you're fouling everything off, that means you're chasing. So your chase rate is going to come up as a red flag. And obviously your exit velocity is going to come up as a red flag, and certain things like that that are predictive in nature aren't going to go in your favor. And I think that's why you see it. But I think every great team needs a guy who can handle the bat like this. And Iglesias just shows why right there with that hit and run play. So then you got a rise up contact guy. This is a nightmare at bat. I'm not going to watch it, but this is a nightmare at bat for Finnegan because he's looking to keep, not let that run score. So he ends up not giving in. He ends up walking a rise. Looks like there was a stolen base at some point in this at-bat to get it to second and third, as we can see up here, but ended up getting to bases loaded, and now you got Manny Machado bases loaded. So again, you're walking that tightrope here. Now you're looking for a double play, but the go-ahead run's already scored, and this is where it goes from bad to worse. Just as pure a swing as you're ever going to see. Line drive, left center, grand slam, game ender, backbreaker, 105 miles an hour at 22. Finnegan's night just got ruined. This is the first day of the second half, and now he's got to think about giving up a 5 spot and the game. Let's see, maybe. So he got to 0-2. Let's see how he worked him on the 0-2. Machado's just such a calm hitter. It's a non-competitive, but it is up. So now Manny's got in his head he might try to beat me upstairs. Here's the 1-2. Heater down, kind of an emergency, protect the plate swing. This is not the swing Manny wants to take, but he's also not looking to strike out here. Fouls it off, but he's still thinking about that high fastball and being on time. And he comes for it right here, perfectly on time. And that's the game ender. I think I would have went split after Manny swung at that pitch that was down and away. That would have been my choice. I don't know about you guys. So that was 1 ninth inning. That was a really good execution by the offense. We saw a little bit of small ball, and it won him a game. And a lot of times when you're facing the really good pitchers, the closers, the elite guys, you're probably not going to hit too many balls really hard, but if you back them into a corner, you might have to give in, and then you go. Do you think he should have challenged Luis considering he's like power? The only issue with challenging Arise in that spot is that it's second and third, and Arise is the best contact hitter in the game, or if not the best, top 5. And so he's very likely to spray it somewhere hard, and if he gets a hit there, it's 2 more runs. So it's really hard to give in there. You'd like to get ahead of him, but he's just so hard to strike out, and that style of hitting is tough for a closer to face. Like, you're looking for no contact or the contact that you want, like a pop-up or a split down. And I don't care about his down year or whatever. It's still Luis Arise, so you know what he's capable of. And ultimately, I think that's what led to the walk and kind of, seeing if the not give in approach could pay off. I know he probably liked the matchup versus Machado a little bit better. He got double play option and the right on right. And, he was ahead of him, 0-2, almost had him put away, but, he made a mistake, and probably a Hall of Famer, and Machado made the adjustment. So there you go. And then the second one I want to watch is this home run by Kyle Stowers, walk-off off of my guy Carlos Estevez. So it's the Royals, and it's the Marlins. And I don't really need to show you much of this, but I'm just going to show you this one at bat. Estevez comes in, my guy, and hold on one second. Let's check the chat. To that point on roster construction, you've been on a ton of different teams. What's your view on analytics guys versus field guys on the roster? What's the right mix? I don't think there's like any set way to do it. I think you have to look at the makeup of your own team. But I like diversity in terms of my hitters and my pitchers, really. I don't want the other team to be able to game plan against my team by saying this one style will defeat them in totality. I want always a counter move for every move the other side makes. All right, so let's get back to this moment. Estevez comes in, all-star closer. Stowers, all-star hitter. Estevez has a 2-run lead in this spot, but gets the immediate out of Otto Lopez. Augustin Ramirez singles, and that brings up Kyle Stowers. So let's watch this at bat. Estevez throws a lot of fastballs. 1-run game here now. Fastball down, ball 1. Then there's a pickoff. Here comes another fastball. I thought this pitch was interesting when I watched it last night. All right, yeah, so fastball down, 4-seam. So it's not meant to get you on the ground. It's meant to get above your barrel. And yet, Kyle is ahead of this pitch and I think a little bit above it. Very weird thing to see. A very weird ball not to get contact made on. You're on time, what seems like on time, maybe even early for 97, and the pitch is down. The majority of the best hitters in the league would make contact with this pitch. So that immediately would throw me off a little bit, like, why did he completely miss that pitch? That's weird. So if I'm Estevez here, I might be using this tunnel, this low tunnel, to then maybe go below the zone and see if the guy will continue to chase. Carlos ends up going back to the 4-seam. And this time he gets it up in the zone where more often he would want to throw it. But here's the result. Stowers is perfectly on plane for the up 97. Takes it to the second deck for the walk-off homer. 103.2 at 33. Perfect backspin. And I think, looking back on it, now obviously it's all easy for me to say because I'm sitting here, but looking back on it, the swing before kind of led me to realize that this was a big mistake location. Yeah, I'll check that for you, Mark, real quick on the movement of this pitch. It was only 14.4 vert, and then the next one's 14.6. So it's about the same vert, but the difference is, with that swing where he completely outright missed the ball at the bottom of the zone, that swing is much more geared now for the top of the zone. So Stowers clearly decided to pull the top of the zone fastball swing path out of his golf club bag, basically his bat bag, and say, you know what, I'm going to turn my shoulders. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We watch Stowers from the side. There's not a lot of hands here. It's all shoulder turn. The hands follow the shoulders. All he does is he turns. And when he turns, he's able to keep his bat a little more on plane, even though it's a high pitch. If this shoulder angle gets more like this, the bat drops and this ball's by him. But because, hold on, let me get the eraser out. Because he doesn't droop his shoulders and he keeps them flat, he's able to get to this pitch. So that's a lot of what guys are teaching now as a great approach against the guys who use the four seam up in the zone, is just the concept of like just turning your body, rotating your body, turning your shoulders rather than getting too handsy and getting into the slot of the scoopy swing. Kyle Seager's amazing. Corey Seager's amazing at this. Bregman's good at this. A lot of guys are good at this. This is the swing for the high pitch, and yes, he did know immediately. We'll watch it again and we'll watch the reaction because it's beautiful. Immediately wants to celebrate with his buddies. Turns around, gives the little hit. I'm the man. I'm the man. Anyway, Kyle Stowers having a huge breakout year for the Marlins. And it looks like his swing is really geared to the top of the zone heater, which really probably chewed him up the first few years. I actually think I might have faced him. It's either him or JJ Bleday. I remember throwing a high sinker by. But this is a beautiful adjustment that's really paid off for him in the offseason. So let's see how long we've been going for today. 47 minutes. I think that's good. Let me check my notes if there's anything else that popped out. I was definitely going to look at Jordan Beck if he got the cycle, which he didn't, and Bassett, but I think we'll find another day for Seabass. Just a fascinating guy to watch at this point in his career. So crafty. Unbelievable at manipulating the clock, too. But I think it's time to go check out the pitching matchups for today, Saturday, July 19th, second day of the second half. Probable pitchers for tonight. All right. First game of the day, Logan Webb, Eric Lauer, who's been pretty darn good for the Jays since he's gotten over there in kind of a dual role, swing role. Logan Webb, that's the Giants' ace. Nick Martinez and Clay Holmes. Big day at Citi Field. David Wright day, getting number 5 retired. Well-deserved, the captain. Maybe the greatest Met ever. There has been a little rumor that Lindor might get the captaincy passed down to him today. I'll believe it when I see it. But, yeah, great day for David and the family. Great dude, one of the best. And huge for him to get that number up there right now. We all knew it was coming, but this is going to be a special day for Mets fans for sure. Waka and Cal Quantrill, so a couple vets going at it in Miami. Kikuchi and Taijuan Walker getting another shot to start, which is nice. Nope, not going to the game today. I'm out here in the Hamptons with the family today, having a day. We drove out here this morning, so no Mets game for me. Rather do some family stuff today. Hauser and Burrows. Man, Adrian Hauser's been incredible for the White Sox. He was with me last year with the Mets. Great dude. Kind of had to go to the minors and grind for a while, even this year. Got his opportunity with the upward mobility clause with the White Sox, and he's been unbelievable since. He's throwing harder this year. He's got great command, really good sinker, really good changeup. Warrior out there on the mound. I'm happy to see him, going off right now. Darvish, Mitchell Parker, Dean Kremer, Zach Littell. AL East matchup. Two teams trying to get themselves going here. Rays have been kind of sliding a little bit. Keider, Montero, and Kumar Rocker. Detroit, they've been struggling a little bit lately. I'd like to see them get going. Hauser lost tons of weight. Yeah, sometimes the weight thing can be funny in baseball. Like they always say mass equals gas, but I think it depends on how you move as an athlete. For me, heavier did mean I threw harder to a point. Once I got past like 255, I just felt sloppy. But if I was 225, I wouldn't throw as hard as if I was 245. Looks like Hauser went the other direction, which sometimes that's what it is. You need to move a little quicker, you're a little lighter, and that works to your advantage. Sevy and Logan Allen, A's and Guardians. And then we got Bello, who's been on a run, and Shota, Imanaga. This is an excellent game. This is probably the game I'm most excited about tonight from a matchup standpoint. Sonny Gray, Ryan Nelson in the desert. And then the Yanks tonight, Will Warren, Joey Wentz for the Braves. Braves, can they get back in it? Probably not. I think they're going to be sellers. So we're going to see. We got a question about Kumar Rocker. What do you think about Rocker's lack of success at the majors? I think it's hard. I think he's trying to figure out who he is. Last year he was featuring the super slider, the death ball. It looked really good. Now he's completely abandoned it. So I think he's going through a little bit of that trial and error process. The Rangers are giving him the run, which is what he needs to kind of figure that out. But you can't write a guy with that kind of talent off. I think in the future he's going to figure out his formula for sure. Zebby Matthews is kind of nasty if you haven't seen him. And my guy Sensatella, Twins and Rock Show from Coors, so that could go any which way. And then Freddie Peralta, the Brewers ace. Guy's nasty, and they've been shoving against the Dodgers, as been pointed out, so I'll be curious to see how he does there versus Emmett Sheen. Young, good pitcher for the Dodgers. Then we got McCullers and Logan Evans tonight in Seattle. McCullers, love watching him pitch. Happy he's gotten back and gotten healthy. But that is all we have for today. We have got some good games. David Wright getting that number retired, so congrats to the captain. Number 5, great dude. And thanks for hanging with me this afternoon on Baseball and Coffee. We'll be back tomorrow and every day of the season and into the playoffs. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm Adam Ottavino, and goodbye.